people got this really cartoonish Hollywood like thought pattern how war operates. Yes, Europeans and Americans are great at war. Over here, Europeans are good at war at Europe. That's what we learned in Vietnam when they had to fight in the forest. So what do you think is going to happen when they got to fight in Iran in the mountain ranges and the unique area in the unique land structure?
We don't have the conditions to simulate.
Fam,
we don't have the conditions to simulate.
They're gonna get their ass beat. But Nick, I'll give you last thought because I'm literally holding back my tongue so much for a second time.
I was just saying, like, for those of you who don't know, I'm a veteran, right? I was part of a military intelligence battalion, the 138 Cavalry in Fort Bragg. We were military brigade, then our military intelligence brigade, and then it got evolved to a battlefield surveillance brigade. But I'm gonna just put it like this, y'all. Take that dumb motherfucker who was in your class, like, that used to wear etnies and Vans and like rocker shirts and blue jeans, but they weren't any particular cut. They were just blue jeans, and like was just super antisocial, probably hated women, did okay in school, but wasn't really that smart, had no social skills. Yeah, so he's a command sergeant major somewhere in the military, making decisions about what to do, making decisions on what to do in some cases, or not in a position to question the decisions of somebody else, regardless of how stupid they fucking sound, because he's an idiot. He's an idiot who played the game, because after you make E6, E7 and up, it's straight political. You have to kiss ass to become. That's why you see when they get to higher ranks, most black military personnel they switch to conservative, because you got to be in with that circle. And if you're a liberal or a leftist, you can't get promoted past E6. Literally, it won't happen, bro. So basically, you take that dumb motherfucker who you know, like, went to the Marines, went to the military. Like, everybody knows that. Everybody been to high school. Like, yeah, he's a sergeant major somewhere right now. Or in some cases, he's an officer because he went to the dumbest college you could think of, but he went, he joined ROTC. Now he's an officer, probably about to make fucking light colonel somewhere, running a battalion of people. Think about that. And that's not hyperbole, bro. Yeah, it is not. Everybody, it's like that feeling you get when you work at, like, with adults for the first time, right? Now, I'm not talking about like McDonald's or something like that. It's like when I worked at Best Buy for the first time, I was 17 turned 18 years old, right? And like, it's mostly adults because most of the departments in Best Buy, you got to be 18 or older. But most of those people have been there for almost a decade. And I'm listening to everybody, I'm talking to everybody, I'm realizing really quick, like, y'all motherfuckers are like a bunch of high schoolers. I thought this was supposed to be different. It's the same exact shit, but y'all just getting paid. Y'all on the clock with y'all bullshit. That's the only difference.
That military propaganda only worked when I was growing up. When I became an adult, like, oh, these are children. And I know all you guys know on X, but the people who have been on X, you guys had to see my threads over the last few days. Well, I've been calling out the U.S. military, been calling out them out as weak. I had a tweet that had 1 million impressions because I called out the U.S. military. I had a ton of veterans see that. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna do a segment because it's X drama. Because my rant. I did many of these rants before, telling you guys how the U.S. military is not as strong as you guys think it is. I essentially did a Twitter thread version of the rant you guys heard. A lot of veterans didn't take it well. They even got the community notes to put a bullshit fact check on the fact that I said the United States military never won a war. So they put a fact check on my tweet that was so clown-like that I mocked it, and then they was forced to remove it.
I've had that happen to me too.
People were clowning them because I don't want to go over the full story, but they was like, oh no, the United States military actually do win wars. So then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fact check the fact check. Got all these people in the military in shambles because I told them that you guys didn't win Vietnam. You guys didn't accomplish your objective in Korea. They said, Niko, the community notes before they was embarrassed and they deleted it. They said the United States won in Libya. How? By turning it into a slave state? Bro. What objective was accomplished in Libya?
And technically speaking, remember they were telling us that the U.S. wasn't on the ground in Libya.
Yeah, and that was I think that's another reason why they were forced to delete. They're like, you're not supposed to say that,
right? Like what? Like, come on, guys. Nah, I'm just telling you personal experience, bro. I mean, I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Like, bro, I watched the dumbest motherfuckers from multiple classes. I mean, people that I know personally are E8s, E7s, and in 1 or 2 cases, they're colonels. And they're fucking idiots. They're dumbasses, bro. I'm not in it. And like, it ain't no smoke again. Like, they're not. What the thing is, a lot of them aren't even like genocidal. They're not idiots. They're not like in a sense, like they're not morally reprehensible people. It's just that they're cogs in a machine. And the only way you get promoted in the military is to be the best cog in the dirtiest machine. Right? Like, that's it. And what happens is, like, people like myself, where I had an opportunity to go to West Point, right? And you get to a point where you just realize, looking around, like, yo, there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers here, bro. I don't know if I want to really be a part of Team Dumbass. I just don't really want to be a part of this shit. And like, the smart motherfuckers get out and they take everything they can from the military. They take, boy, I promise y'all, every day of my life, I get way more out of them than what they got out of me. I got these motherfuckers. It's mine. Yep. That's what you do if you're smart. You don't stay in, work for what is effectively pennies. I mean, there are people in the military. I mean, that's how you know the motherfuckers is dumb, right? Because there are people in the military that are on food stamps. And you went to the military for security, but you and your family are on food stamps.
Oh my God, bro.
Why are you still there?
Don't get me started. Don't get me
and
started.
And they got so many avenues, bro. If you get out and you do it right, all you have to do is deploy once. If you deploy once, if you know what you're doing, you can guaranteed retire with 100% disability, which means you can get a house for with damn near 0% interest. You can start a business with damn near 0% interest with a guaranteed business loan. You get your school paid for if you got out, as long as you did your 3 years. Then if you're above 70%, you can get what's effectively another version of a GI Bill to do your graduate or master's or your PhD or a vocational certificate. You can literally make more money in school, bro, than what you would make if you were in the military as a junior enlisted or even a senior enlisted in some cases. And motherfuckers are so dumb and thinking about next week or the week after that they get stuck. Or better yet, don't even have to fucking go to school. You can get out the military and get a guaranteed GS job. And you will make more money.
That's why it's so funny to me when people want me to feel bad. Like,
30 years
like, oh my God, Nick, why you so mean as veteran? Like, bro, they are elevated to us. They get benefits that we don't get, but we're not allowed to criticize them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not gonna dive into.
You got motherfucking Nick. The independent contractors who were ex-military spend most of their day laughing at the motherfuckers who E3, E4, who are doing the exact same job, except for you got to do this job. My job is to sit here and watch you do the shit and get paid 10 times what you get paid. To not have nobody over my neck, breathing down my neck about this shit. And I get to go where the fuck I want to after I get off work. Yo, I'm about to go right back to your barracks to report to your sergeant. And if you want to leave the city, you got to get a whole goddamn day pass in order to do so. Like, the ones who are smart, they leave. They get out. So it's like, when you have a military that is so dumb that it literally is incentivizing people to leave, how can you possibly have the strongest military in the world?
Yep.
It's just logic.
I'm gonna get back to the Trump video. I'm gonna just literally quickly touch on this because this is what I was talking about earlier. I already did this rant on RBN. I essentially just turned it into a Twitter thread. I was explaining why the United States military, not strong people, think. Like, when you study military history, like morale, like the reason why you fight, that is very important to win the war. You need willing and you need good troops. This is stuff like Napoleon knew. Now, these are like what Hannibal knew. If you look at the greatest generals in history, they knew how important it was to have soldiers that have a reason to fight, to have morale. American generals, the reason why they lose every war, they're like, oh, we can just throw any troop in there. Then they get their ass beat and they wonder what's going on. They draft people. Now they don't know why they fight in Vietnam. They get their ass beat and they wonder what the fuck's going on here. So this is a tweet I sent out that had 1 million impressions. That's how you know I got under their skin.
Yep. Hey, what happened? They had 1.1 million earlier.
They probably scrubbing numbers. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's crazy.
Remember, they tried a community tweet. I'm trying to do this really quickly, but you remember they tried to do the community notes on this because I explained how the United States military is not made up of war. I just read the tweet real quick. The United States military is not made up of warriors. The United States military is made up of children who simply want free college and all the benefits of joining the military that our society doesn't provide. Is that how you produce warriors? Having people that join the military because they want to go to college later? Mm-hmm. Or you produce warriors when you are colonized people who fighting for the freedom and liberation of your people. I don't know if you're a part of Viet Cong, for example, and you fighting for the freedom and liberation of your people, you have more reason to fight than the person who was drafted have no reason why they're there. If you're in the military because you want to go to college, then you in the military because you want to learn how to program. You trying to be
all
a fast
combat arms.
You think you're gonna defeat someone who fighting for the liberation? But go ahead, Niko.
No, I was gonna say all combat arms E5 and below are their low paid mercs. They're low paid mercenaries, and they're wondering why the U.S. can't win shit. Like y'all can't even like y'all go to Iraq, y'all beating what did Cat Williams say? Like show us the uniforms in Afghanistan and Iraq, especially Afghanistan. He's like, it's because we ain't killing soldiers, we killing them. He's like, y'all killing women, children, motherfuckers in flip flops and a cowboy hat. Those are the people that y'all are having trouble beating. What? Like y'all and what? Like I don't understand. We can't win. We couldn't hold Afghanistan. We couldn't hold Iraq, really. Like, we never really could hold Iraq. The reason that the terrorists got eliminated is because who got involved? Iran and Russia. Like, that's why they beat the terrorists that we sent there. Like, we really couldn't get Saddam out there without opposition getting involved. But once that happened, we lost, like, all fucking hell broke loose in Iraq. Really. Like, that's why they were so hesitant to leave there. So, like, what have we won? I'm genuinely curious.
We don't win. And bro, the amount of I don't have time to go over it. We're not gonna go over it. But the amount of cope in this thread I was literally having the time of my life with this shit. Ray showing these people left and right. This got 1 million impressions. So let me continue. I said, this is not how you create warriors, having people that just want to go to school and shit. This is why the United States lost every single war in the modern era. The United States military is a joke that can't win battles. All they do is commit mass atrocities. And Niko, you want to know what they kept saying? They're like, what do you mean we can't win wars? Look what we did in Libya. Look at what we did in Iraq. You mean when you burn down villages?
Libya? Do you know how long we were in Libya? Like, just from my knowledge, from personal experience, my uncle was deployed there before anybody knew we were there. Like, bro, since the early 90s, at least late 80s, early 90s, it took us that long, and we still had to enlist the services of fucking radicals from Chad to do the job for us. Think about that.
Yep. And guys, the reason why I'm literally making this something I'm really focused on, because I'm trying to save lives. Guys, you need to convince everyone in your family not to join the fucking military. If you don't, you are failing your job. I don't want to hear it. I know I'm an asshole. I acknowledge that. I don't want to hear you complain about your dead soldier family member if you don't heed my warning right now. They're ready to go to war with China and Iran and Russia, and you're going to have your family member sign up to the military? So I am speaking hard language right now. I am offending people right now because I'm trying to send you guys the message to get the fuck out so you don't be that soldier with PTSD, homeless, and killing yourselves.
Save your family's life right the fuck now.
So yes, I am the asshole
right now, bro. Because it's coming.
I'm the heel. But go ahead, Niko.
Who wanna save your family member's life? Like everybody knows. Like my biggest thing is I have to tell people in my friends or family that want to go. Like they see all the benefits. I'm like, yo, I was really lucky. I got very, very lucky, and I was really smart. And I literally had mentors that were like, yeah, we about to finesse the fuck out this military. Like, and I was a paralegal on top of all of that, so I wouldn't even deal with any of the shit that most people would have to deal with. So it's hard telling people like, yeah, I know you want this, but don't fucking do it. Because you might not make it to this point, right? You really might not make it. Do you really want to fucking die fighting Israel's war?
Yeah. So look, you want to know who these people are? I'm trying to prevent you guys from being like these brothers and sisters here. Mm-hmm. Why we got brothers and sisters in Syria and Yemen? Yep. I'll just say Syria and Iraq. Why we got brothers and sisters
in the military? Why are black people overrepresented for our population in the U.S.? Why are black people overly represented, especially in the junior and the enlisted side? We are overrepresented proportionally to our population in the U.S. Why is that? Because it's a poverty draft.
Yes.
Most prominent black people. Do y'all know, like, I lived in North Carolina for a long time, and the one consistent theme that you'll see all up and down the East Coast, North Carolina, South Carolina, especially Georgia and Maryland, is that the people who have risen to prominency and have accrued a lot of success and wealth, that it's because them or their grandparent was a part of the military at some point. Like when my child is going to be successful, it is because I was a part of the military, right? And I grew up in a military town for the first half of my life, or second half of my life rather, because of my young adult life, because my dad was in the military. And my dad decided to join the military because he saw the benefits that my grandpa inadvertently got because he was forced to go to Vietnam. But he was serving in the Air Force. They saw the benefits that happened. And like my dad was like, that's a good idea. He decided to go to the military. Right? Like my cousin is very successful right now. His dad was a sergeant major of 3rd Group at one point. His dad, he's very sick. My cousin's he's part of the Secret Service. Like, which he got because his dad was in the fucking military. It didn't, bro. He's like 24-year-old Secret Service, dog. because of who his dad was. So, but they're all black, is my point. Is like, so it's like ingrained in you at a very young age, if you grew up in that culture, that if you want to be successful and get secure as a black man, that's guaranteed security, go into the military. But they don't tell you about all the stories that aren't successful. They don't tell you about all the people that don't make it, all the people that get fucked over, that get scapegoated, right? They don't tell you that you gotta, if you want to get promoted past a certain point, you gotta trade your values. Like they don't, like it's crazy to me, like, or the PTSD. There's that fucking part. Like my friend who he was in the Navy, he just joined the Navy because like fuck it, I don't want to go to college and I just want something to do. Didn't think it would be that crazy because he was in intelligence, and the first year his daughter was born, he was in Libya actually, and he couldn't hold his daughter when he first got back from deployment because of all the babies he had seen killed. Couldn't hold his daughter, bro, for real.
So that's so why and me and Rome, I don't know if you saw the segment we did this maybe a few weeks ago. We went hard on the parents of those black soldiers who died, because if you allow your child to go out there and die in war, you fucked up more than any other parent ever fucked up before. Why will you allow them to go through that trauma? And even if they survive, they get PTSD. You want to know who you can kind of forgive? I guess the parents of the World War II soldiers, the parents of the Korean soldiers, because they didn't know that much about PTSD and shit. They didn't know that much about it. We know everything that United States soldiers go through in the year 2024. And you as a parent decide to send your child overseas, and then one of the black parents who send their child to die, she didn't even know why they was there. I don't know what they're doing. They don't know it's serious. What do you mean you don't know why you send your child over there? That's so absurd. And this comment right here is why it's so crazy, and that's why I'm speaking out. We should not play any part of this. And absurd that we do. Now, just for a second time, I'm going to continue to throw on this tweet. This does roll into the Yemen story. We almost wrap up here, because this actually does roll into the Yemen story perfectly, because we talking about military else. Trust me, this transition is going to be fire. So let me continue this tweet, because when I was on my break, I had a blast trolling these fucking neocons on Twitter, because I was fucking clapping them. They can't hang with me. So let's continue. I said, United States military is a joke that can't win battles. All they do is commit mass atrocities. They couldn't even defeat the Taliban. They lost in Korea, lost in Vietnam, and haven't accomplished a significant military objective in years. And this is the question I keep asking people. What is a military objective of the United States that they had on paper that they accomplished? Don't worry, I'll wait. Not one. Yeah. Let's continue. This is why, and this more than anything else, Niko, this is the line that really pissed the neocon and the NATO bots off, because they send the bots army after me after this. I said, this is why, if there's a war between the United States versus China and Russia, we would get destroyed. And we would. The people in the West who believe otherwise are delusional.
Destroyed, bro. Bro, let me tell you something. You know what's so crazy about the Taliban situation? You telling me we couldn't beat the motherfuckers that we trained? We couldn't beat the motherfuckers that we...
That's funny as hell to put it like that.
We couldn't beat the motherfuckers that we trained, people. It ain't like ISIS. ISIS, like, we can't be ISIS because we don't want to be ISIS. Like, that's different. Taliban, we trained them, then they said, fuck y'all, is basically what happened, and we had to give everything back. Like, our bad, dog. We ain't really mean to do that shit. Like, IEDs, the concept of IEDs, they're improvised explosive devices. We taught them how to make them, and then they use them on us. And we can't win. Like, come on, bro. Why do we? How dumb do you gotta fucking be to just go out on random patrols in Iraq and Afghanistan? You're just going on my Humvee. Why? We're just gonna see if there's anybody out there. Well, don't you already have a perimeter set up? So why are the fuck you going 10 miles out in the goddamn dark when they know the terrain, they don't like you, and you can't see shit? Wait for them motherfuckers to show themselves and handle your business. You got intel, you got satellites, you got planes. But we got to look like we're doing something, Nick. So we're going to go on this fucking Humvees in the dark and just drive around. We're going to go joyriding. And they're like, oh, shit, we got hit by an IED. No fucking shit. Y'all have done the same thing for 10 years. Go on random fucking patrols outside of the FOB and get blown up. And then when people were like, damn, man, what were they doing? They was just driving around. They was on patrol. Patrolling what? Did they get some intel that somebody was coming? Nah, Has there ever been a major attack on a FOB in the existence of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars in 2001? No. No. Never. There's never been a major attack on a FOB in all of the war in Afghanistan and Iraq since 2001. Never, Nick. Why the fuck are we just out there driving the fuck around?
People have no idea what the fuck is going on in these wars. They watch G.I. Joe. They watch these propaganda movies. They see Bad Boy. They see the Marines with John Cena. They've seen these Hollywood propaganda movies. They think that's how war works. For real. Yeah. When I say America,
they see Bad Boy with no traffic in Miami. Yeah, right. Motherfucker, ain't no high speed chase in Miami. I can guarantee you that shit. Unless it happened at 4 a.m. God damn it. Like, that shit happening.
People watch these military movies, these CIA movies and Hollywood, the Marine and all that shit, and they really think that's how war works. It's so fucking crazy.
They be having people think that they're like, oh man, look at how stealth and like how high speed they are, and these motherfuckers. I'm like, nah, bro. The reason that Special Forces is so successful is because they're operating with intel that they know about. Because usually they're killing people that we put in power, which is how we got all the intel.
Yep.
That's why they're so successful and have such a high success rate. Like when they went, I know one of the people responsible for killing Noriega. I know one of the people who were there when it happened. And I asked him, I was like, yo, like, how did y'all know he was there? Oh, well, the villagers ratted him. I'm like, no. How did y'all know he was in that village? Well, we our history. Like, so y'all, only reason y'all got Noriega is because y'all were the ones who put him in power and then y'all fucking killed him after? Well, why was it so important to kill Noriega instead of prosecute him?
Yeah.
Maybe because you didn't want him talking? And that y'all were just going as an execution squad, basically, to clean up somebody else's fucking mess with intel you already had. That doesn't make y'all special forces. It just makes y'all forces, basically.
Yep. And like that comment I just put up there said, that's probably the best example to put. People think Call of Duty is real life. Call of Duty, we know, is Pentagon CIA propaganda. That has been exposed officially. They get the script from the Pentagon. So people play Call of Duty. I used to play Call of Duty back in Modern Warfare days. You play Call of Duty and you're like, nigga, this is what war is like. That was American thing. Now, Nick, I'm going to show you this. And we're going to quickly, the Yemen story is not going to take long. We're almost done, Nico. This is the community note. Guys, I am like 3-0 versus community notes thus far. Every single time Elon and his fucking goons try to community note me, it always gets removed eventually. Because I am not one of those people who complain. Oh no, I lose my monetization on my Twitter. I don't give a fuck. So whenever the second I saw this community note, I was like, oh Lord, you guys are about to expand this discourse even longer. Because you know how much discourse I created with that tweet with 1 million views? I couldn't even cover it, Niko. I couldn't even read everything. There was so much discourse with this. Then I saw this community note because my tweet got so big, they put this community note. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then I see this tweet like, yo, you guys see this shit? And Niko, I want you to respond to this if you want to. Because this is what they said in response to me saying that the United States can't win a war and we're not a country for warriors. They use Wikipedia as your source, by the way. And said
it must have been Destiny. It must have been Destiny, right?
Destiny and their homies took over the community notes, apparently. So, guys, this is such a big win for me. I don't know why they did this because they put this fucking community note on me on my tweet. Let me know that I got under their skin. That's why they do this. So they say in the 21st century, the United States won its intervention in Northwest Pakistan.
It's like, that's super fucking specific, but okay.
The great and almighty U.S. military in their victory in Northwest Pakistan. Not the whole state of Pakistan.
Yeah, not the whole state, not the whole country. How do you intervene in a corner of a country? Like, you can't, that ain't an intervention. Like, that's just y'all popped in and said what's up and left. Like, it's not an
There's not a, and for one, I say you guys don't win wars. That is not a war. That's why you use
that's
the
not
word
a war.
Exactly. And then they said we won Operation Ocean Shield. Nigga, that's if I was to take it at face value, that's not a war, sir. It's an operation. And then they said, this is what I mentioned earlier, they had the audacity, and this is what most people clap in the community notes, because everyone was like, wait, what they say? They said the United States won both interventions in Libya. Quick question. If he won the first intervention, why is there a need for a second one?
Yeah, facts.
So just at face value.
And Iraq. They said
Secondly,
2013 to 2021. Nah.
and secondly, I said you guys do not win a war without committing mass atrocities. So this was just one of many examples of them saying, "No, Nick, you're wrong. We do commit mass atrocities and we win at the same time."
And we
Okay,
win.
good job, genius. Maybe we'll disagree with you, but good job. Thank you for acknowledging that you guys are committing war crimes. And guys, I can't read all the response because it was too big. But there are so many military people like, "Do you think we lost in Iraq? Look what we did in Iraq." You guys are bragging
y'all
about
killed a
killing
million
2
people
million
and left.
Yes.
What? Like what the fuck?
Anyway,
modestly, y'all killed a million people. Between like that's modestly. The numbers, like it is largely believed that the numbers are actually inaccurate. It's undershooting how many people actually died in both Iraq and Afghanistan because the U.S. doesn't want people to know how fucked up they were. Like they was going around killing people.
So this is the last part of the segment, and you guys see how I'm gonna pivot to the Yemen story with this because the United States lost in Yemen. So you guys know I'm having a blast, and this is my most successful tweet of this whole fucking dialogue. Every single one of them getting 1,000+ likes. I sent this one out, 3.5 thousand likes. Well, I explained because I can't respond to all these people. I would love to, I can't. So I just subtweet them. I said a bunch of veterans are melting down in my mentions because if you don't know what mention is, that's my notification. I know all you guys not online like me. So all the people melting down in my thread because I called out the United States military as the weak cowards that they are who can't win a war, so they commit mass atrocities. And I said simply, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the ruling class who keeps forcing you bootlickers to take L after L. 3.5 thousand likes after me saying that. So think about what's happening here. We are a country run. What did Jimmy say? We're a country full of children of alcoholics or something like that. What did Jimmy say? Right?
I mean, that sounds about right. That's basically it.
What did Jimmy say? We are children, son of alcoholics, something like that. Because I am calling out the crimes of ruling class that committed against you guys. Mm-hmm. And they get upset at me. And I said the ruling class forces you guys to sacrifice your lives for losing wars. Then they leave many of you guys homeless and suicidal. And they're mad at me for mentioning the fact that they leave your ass homeless and suicidal.
Oh, don't forget highest suicide rate. Yeah, highest suicide rate of veterans in history right now.
Isn't it like 22 an hour? Am I getting it wrong?
It's something crazy, bro. It's something crazy, dog. I can't even.
Killed.
One of the I'm gonna put it like this. It's so bad that one of the reasons the suicide rate is so high is because the hotline is always fucking busy because of how many people are committing suicide.
But y'all proud. Y'all so mad when we call it out though, because I had a response where someone was like, "How dare you speak to the amazing veterans who are way better than you?" I'm like, these veterans gonna come back homeless and suicidal. Like, why you guys have this cult? And I've been aggressively calling out this cult because this cult get people killed. Fam, there was veterans in this whole dialogue that was more upset than me than they was the military getting these people killed. And I explained, and this is when they got quiet.
Well, Nick, I told you the military's full of fucking dumbasses. That's my whole point. That's my point. The ones that aren't dumbasses are gonna be like, nah, fuck the military for what they did. And everybody else will be like, no, man, don't blame. It's whose fault is it? Like, is Nick's fault because the military fucked y'all? Because World War II suicide, post-World War II suicides were nowhere near as high. You know why? Because they believed that they were actually fighting an enemy, right? They believed that they were fighting the good fight, even though there might be sounds that might drive their PTSD up, of course, but it ain't nothing like going around killing innocent kids. Ain't nothing like that. Nothing gonna give you PTSD like that, bro. Nothing. Unless you're Israel, unless you're Israeli, unless you're Zionist, they get turned on by that type of shit. But normal fucking people, like the ones that are forced to enlist in the U.S. military because of economic circumstances, that's gonna fuck you up for life, bro.
So I said, as I explained here, and this is the funniest part of this whole story, just to me, because I had like so many of these bots and veteran people come after me, I couldn't respond to all of them. That's why I'm subtweeting, because I know you guys see this. This is my general response. I said, quick question. Do any of the veterans who are upset at me in the comments know who these people are? And guys, look at the thread. No one answered that question to this day. And the silence after I said this, the silence after I posted these people pictures was deafening because they didn't even know. If you don't know, because I did it like 5 segments on this, you know that these people died because Joe Biden used them as bait because they was
recently
fighting Syria. So then Syrian groups that was attacking United States soldiers because they warned them to leave, They then attacked and killed these people because Biden said a few months ago that if these attacks on United States troops keeps up, there's going to be casualties. So what Biden do? Biden leaves them out there so he can provoke regional conflict. So these people were sacrificed as pawns of a politician. That is what you guys are lowering your life to.
Ain't no coincidence that these motherfuckers are privates. There's no coincidence that these are private black people. These are private black kids. These are kids, bro. If you E2s, those are E2. Those are kids that they're fresh out.
They like warriors.
Like, huh?
And there are a lot of people, and Niko, I want you, because I don't mean to interrupt you, but there are a lot of people upset because I said the military is not made up of warriors. And people are like, what do you mean by that? This is toxic masculinity. I was like, guys, in the segment, and once again, I want the only people who know this stuff because I actually care about people in my community dying. When you see the segment where MSNBC was covering these kids were not warriors. One of these people wanted to become a programmer. One of them went to school to become a fashion designer, but they in fucking Syria? Why the fuck are they in Syria? And I'm the one to bring it up, and people got mad at me for the fact that I bring up the fact that they're sending you guys out to die in wars. So, Nick, I want you to finish your thought, and we get to the last story.
Nah, I was just gonna say, man, like that's the facts, bro. They're young. They're not gonna disrupt anybody's command. Like, they're not going to disrupt, like, them being gone, unfortunately, isn't going to disrupt any major operation. Like, it's also kind of weird that they're black. Like, all three of them are black. That's like, bro, that's like fucking insane. That's really weird. In Iraq, I can't think of any situation where, like, a group of people got killed and all of them were black. That's crazy. Because generally speaking, black people don't end up in combat arms positions. They end up in supply, communications, things like that.
One of them was in tech. I follow the story in good detail. One of them was in tech. One of them wanted to be like a fashion designer or something. So, in my statement, I'm like, why the fuck they in Syria then? No one asked these questions. They in Syria, and then the parents, they want to
throw people out who do the bang bang. You can't get your soldiers killed. So you set up some fucking kids that the military quote unquote doesn't need to easily replenish, right?
So question,
it's fucked up, bro. I gotta get up out of here, though, man. I gotta get up out of here.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I don't want to rush through the Yemen story, so I may cover that. I might add the title. I'm gonna cover that Saturday. I got a lot to cover on Yemen regarding Biden administration essentially admitting defeat. But Nico, where can they find you? I know it was a much longer stream than we planned. Thank you for joining us today. Where can they find you?
So you can find me on YouTube, just For the People Podcast, or Niko House, NIKOHOUSC. I'm on X, Rumble, Twitter, X, Rumble, Rockfin, and and Instagram and TikTok too. So y'all can go find me there. NIKOHOUSC. Google me.